So March is Women's History Month, so we are going to be talking all month about that. So women and ADHD. It's important to talk about women and ADHD because for a really long time, ADHD was really seen as a predominantly male disorder. There's a lot of back and forth about if that is still the case or not. Jury's still out on it, and some argue that is still the case, and some argue that it's really just maybe because women just were underdiagnosed for so long because it presents so differently in women. So, women for a long time have gone undiagnosed. In a lot of cases, even now, women tend to be underdiagnosed undiagnosed until later in life. So again, women are typically diagnosed later because of how they present so differently than their male counterparts. And this is typical symptoms, of course, so that's not necessarily always the case. But typically, males tend to present with a little more impulsivity, a little more hyperactivity, potentially more behavioral problems, some of those type of things, whereas girls tend to present not that way. So they tend to internalize more, they tend to be more inattentive, so kind of lost in their own world a little bit, so they're not as disruptive, so they don't really cause an issue. So they tend to internalize things more. So rumination, overthinking things, leading to anxiety, self-esteem issues, self-concept, a lot of those different things present for girls and women. So societal pressures for women, and there's a lot of them. We could spend all day talking about all of these things, from body image to beauty standards to workplace demand on home life versus career development, all of those different things that are really placed on women and tend to be pretty challenging to manage and balance in general. But one thing that I want to focus on is the societal pressures on women as it surrounds eating. Kind of ties in a little bit with some of that beauty standard as well, really that ideal that our society kind of places on thinness, and it ties into a lot of the kind of stereotypes behind eating for women as well that kind of perpetuate the issue too. So, women eat salads and, drink certain beverages and those type of things that are really perpetuated, versus men eat burgers and wings and drink beer. So it's a lot of things that are really perpetuated in our society, but also with that focus on the beauty standards that are really unrealistic and unattainable a lot of the time for general women in our society. That also leads to that pressure of feeling like they have to meet these unattainable standards as it pertains to body image and thinness, as it pertains to aging and trying to color our hair, get rid of our wrinkles, and all of these type of things to constantly look younger. So a lot of these beauty standards ties into some of those eating behaviors as well. So how some of those things lead to some challenging eating behaviors is the constant pressure of trying to lose weight, and it leads to some of these fad diets. It leads to band-aiding a lot of the lose weight fast and those type of things. So, fad diets leading to weight loss medications, restricting our diets and eating, and excessive working out, or trying to balance some of those different things. So it can lead to, some of those challenging eating behaviors as well. So ADHD and women of color. This is a big one. And again, we can kind of go on for a while about this, but what is particularly interesting in the work that I've been doing for quite some time that I've found to really, really intersect ADHD and women of color is when we're talking about women of color, particularly from collectivistic cultures, for example, my culture, Middle Eastern culture, um, it's very village, everything for the community, and we take care of each other, and it's very collectivistic. Take our shirt off our back for you. We do things for other people a lot, and it's very community kind of oriented, if you will, very family centric, all of those things, which for someone growing up in that culture, for someone who has ADHD, who would, some of the symptoms being things like people pleasing and overextending yourself and for other people, particularly trying to kind of prove yourself constantly, not feeling good enough, all of these things. For women of color, some of those symptoms of ADHD are perpetuated by and kind of worsened by some of those cultural aspects that we face from collectivistic cultures that we have a hard time kind of detangling. So that's one piece that is quite interesting that I'm doing a lot more work in to understand and help detangle and really understand the difference between, you know, women of color and other women with ADHD. So I know that we put out a lot of information, and it can be overwhelming. So please stop by and follow us at all of our socials at Snapdragon Wellness. Check us out on our website as well. And feel free to reach out with any questions or thoughts or interests that you have too, or topics that you want to hear us talk about too.